Hi, everyone. Gene Nichols with you here for another edition of Community Roundup. So happy to have back with us Dr. Jenna LeComte-Hinely. She is with the Health Assessment and Research Group out here in the Coachella Valley called HARC. We've talked about a lot of things. We've talked about diabetes. We have talked about some women's health issues as well. We have talked about the general skin cancer problems out here in the Coachella Valley. And now we talk about colon cancer. I don't know if it's as widespread as skin cancer, but it could be as dangerous, if not more. Dr. LeComte-Hinely, welcome to our microphones.
Well, thank you for having me again.
We're always talking about bad things, but we're going to try to put a nice spin on it in terms of prevention and in things we can do to screen ourselves so we don't have to get in a situation where we might be looking at colon cancer. First of all, it's probably easy to assume how cancer could start in a place like the colon, right? Because it's an area where it's a lot of waste could build up and probably having a lot of things that could cause cancer are ever present, aren't they?
It's true. You know, cancer is the abnormal division of cells, and we're not sure why it is prevalent in some body parts over others. For instance, breast and prostate cancer are very, very common. Colon cancer a little bit less so, but still a form of cancer that needs to have attention drawn to it because nobody likes to talk about it. You know, you have October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and you have everybody wearing pink and doing walks, and it's a very feel-good thing. We're not having that for colon cancer, and so I think the awareness level is a little bit lower for that.
Yeah, it certainly isn't anything to do with colon cancer being a sexy kind of cancer. I mean, there are walks to prevent suicide. There are walks to end Alzheimer's. There's all kinds of things that we don't mind talking about, but that area of the body we don't like to talk about. And perhaps that's a reason maybe why people don't want to always get things screened ahead of time, right?
Absolutely. And I don't know what the mental block is there, but it's sure as hell there. I mean, colorectal cancer, nobody wants to talk about. It's not a topic that anybody, and colonoscopies, nobody wants to talk about those either. But the fact of the matter is that if you are getting screening as recommended, the disease is completely preventable, and can be detected and treated early on when you have a better chance of survival.
About 11%, almost 11% of the Coachella Valley population has some form of cancer. How does that break down as it regards colon cancer?
About 4.5% of those people have colon cancer, have been diagnosed with colon cancer, and so that's about 1,500 people here in our valley. But what's important to note, because people don't get screenings, colon cancer is actually the second leading cause of cancer-related deaths in the U.S. because too few people are getting screened and catching this early. They're typically catching it very late, and so it has a high death rate.
The goal is to try to get some screening, typically the ever useful and ever used but not highly popular colonoscopy. They can detect a polyp or a growth or a cyst of some type inside your intestine when they go up there, and then they can remove it before it turns into a bigger problem. But some folks just aren't thrilled with that entire process of a colonoscopy, are they?
It's true, and you know it's not a promising thing to look forward to. But on the plus side, if you are hesitant to get a colonoscopy, you should talk with your doctor because there's several different screening tests with various degrees of efficacy, but it could be as simple as a blood stool test to test your stool for any presence of blood. It could also be a sigmoidoscopy, which is slightly different than the colonoscopy, and they now have these CT colonographies. So there are some options that are a little bit less invasive that may be appropriate should your doctor present those alternatives.
Are there some risk factors for colon cancer our listeners should be aware of, doctor?
Some of them you can't control, of course. That's your family history, your genetics.
That family history is going to doom all of us, isn't it?
It absolutely is. I mean, you got to die of something.
Yeah.
There are the usual factors that you can control quite well, such as regular physical activity, having a nutritious diet that's high with fruits and vegetables and low in fat, and then, of course, maintaining a healthy weight. Also, they've found a link between smoking tobacco and colon cancer. Smoking tobacco, it turns out, doesn't just affect lung cancer. It affects sort of across the board all types of bad things in the body. So if you do smoke, stop now.
We have this whole diet issue, which is such a real quandary, because you talk about high fiber, low fat diet when it comes to being one of the ways to possibly fend off colon cancer. And yet, if you're looking at fending off diabetes, you certainly don't want to be eating a necessarily high-carb diet. And as a result, they're having a much better success rate in general, preventing diabetes or lowering your blood sugar levels, keeping those insulin levels from going wacky by having people eat a higher amount of fat in their diet. Yet, a higher amount of fat in the diet, probably not good for colon cancer prevention. So, boy, oh boy, you're right. We literally have to dance on that knife edge, don't we?
It's true. And I think one of the important things to talk about is the type of fats. Nobody's saying go out, well, there might be some people, but they shouldn't be saying go out and eat a bunch of butter, a bunch of animal fats. But there are so many good, healthy fats. You know, have an avocado. It's full of fat, but it's really good fat. The same thing with olive oil, the fats that you get in nuts. So there are definitely ways to have the healthy fat quotient rather than that fat that you get from a cheeseburger. It's all about finding the healthy alternatives.
Indeed. We are talking with Dr. Jenna LeComte-Hinely. She's with the Health Assessment and Research Group here in the Coachella Valley. And it's all about maintaining some balance in lifestyle as well as weight and what's called that body mass index as well, isn't it?
Anything you can do to get within that healthy body mass index is absolutely great, not just for cancer, but for all types of disease. So maintaining that healthy body weight is really the key, and doing so via physical fitness and a reasonably sized, reasonably portioned diet.
Colon cancer, though, the age that we really have to be worrisome of is anybody over 50. Then we start thinking about it. I guess we really don't think about it when we're 20 or 30, do we?
It's true. Maybe that's another part of the reason why it doesn't get as much attention as it really deserves and needs.
So, with the Health Assessment and Research Group here, or HARC, in the Coachella Valley, are there resources available to our listeners that they can tap into and get more information, statistics, or even helpful ideas on, what to do going forward, especially if they're of a certain age, to make sure colon cancer is something that really is at low risk for them?
Absolutely. So, for any data information needs that anybody has, I do recommend you go to our website, which is www.harcdata.org. That's HARCDATA.org. And for any questions about screenings or whether you should get one, or thinking about the different types of screenings, we urge you to contact your doctor. And if you don't already have a primary care physician, we have a lot of great ones. And even if you're uninsured, there are some great alternatives, such as the Coachella Valley Volunteers in Medicine, which is our free clinic here in the Valley. So whether or not you have insurance, go talk to a doctor about what types of screenings you need.
Well, that's some great advice from Dr. Jenna LeComte-Hinely. And of course, doctor, while you are a doctor, I am not. But sometimes I put on my Dr. Gene hat just to remind people that if they remember 4 words, they can go a long way to helping us prevent a lot of things. And they are eat less, move more. That's pretty good, isn't it?
That's pretty great. That covers a whole wealth of things.
Yeah. Not bad for a dumb layman, right?
If everybody abides by that, we'll have a increase in quality of life and length of life real quick.
Well, we like that a great deal. Dr. Jenna LeComte-Hinely, always great to talk with you from the Health Assessment and Research Group, HARC, here in the Coachella Valley. Once again, a website where folks can go and get some more information for HARC?
HARCdata.org, HARCDATA.org.
Sounds easy enough. Doctor, great to talk with you as always. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gene.
I'm Gene Nichols. This is Community Roundup.